everybody. This is T-Jaw, and
Hey, how's it going?
I decided to do something cool, and we're going to go down the whole complete line of Origins up to date. So it's my favorite toy line, is Masters of the Universe. Everybody knows. I thought it would be really cool. I know a lot of reviewers out there have done the Origins line, but I figured I'm going to do it our way. So we're going to do the first wave that came out in 2020, and this was the figures, vehicles, and cat that came out during 2020. So this is the very first wave. So what we're going to do is go through each one. We'll start off with He-Man and talk about the figure. And if AAA just holds it in front of the other camera, I'll talk about the figure. This is the very first figure in the Origins line. I thought it was a very good representation of the original one. The head sculpt was brand new, so a lot of people were upset about that. So later on in like Wave 5, they actually released another He-Man with the vintage accurate toy face. I'm not a fan of the accurate toy face. I always thought he looked like he was chewing on a lemon. I like this sculpt a lot. It kind of gives it a new kind of feature. It's different from classics. It's different from 2000X, different from vintage, and I really like the figure. And it was the first time we saw the figures in a posable where you can take everything apart. Their arms, legs can move around. You can change Skeletor's head, put it on He-Man's body. They have leg, articulation. You can he come with a battle axe, his standard shield, and his half power sword, which is pretty cool. Throwback to the original, where you take the purple and the gray power sword together, and it creates the full power sword to open Castle Grayskull. That was in the comic book. The cartoon was different. He-Man already had the full sword, and Grayskull was under the power of the sorceress. But the first wave of Origins was a love letter to the original fans, and I think that's why I love the line so much, because I'm a huge fan of the original vintage toys. It didn't have a lot of movability, but these ones are just like, they blow me away. I mean, I love my vintage figures, but geez, man, we're almost to the end here. We got like maybe 6 or 7 figures left to complete the line. They're doing Filmation figures now. They've done other figures like Turtles of Grayskull, WWE, Eternia figures. They're all interchangeable with each other. It's just amazing toy line. I'd love to see what Mattel does with it, and I hope they keep going. There's still a few vehicles and play sets we're about ready to get. The new Kickstarter, like the Eternia, is going to be the fortress, the snake fortress. We're actually getting a new castle. It should be announced at San Diego Comic-Con here coming up very soon for your pre-orders to get it, just like the Eternia was. So, and the second figure of the line is his nemesis, Mr. Skeletor himself. He is an awesome, awesome figure.
Skeletor.
Once again, there was people, upset because they made his mouth open, didn't move. So it's like, okay, I can deal with that. But Wave 5, they did release the figure with a mouth closed, so there's 2 versions of it. He comes with his standard Havoc staff and purple sword that you can connect to the He-Man one to make one full power sword. And if you want to show them that real quick, so both power swords can actually combine with each other to create one. So now you can
have the power.
AAA has the power, and you can now open Castle Grayskull with both swords together. So that was out, like I said, out of the mini comic. And the Skeletor figures are really good figures. Another good throwback. Actually, every figure that we show you is actually a very good version of the figure that was released in the 1980s. So, and moving on, because this is part 1. We're going to be doing parts for every one of the waves and the vehicles and play sets. We're going to go a hero this time. So we're going to go with Teela, Man-at-Arms' stepdaughter, our daughter. And she comes with her classic look with the snake armor, which is from the mini comic, because everybody knows the cartoon. She did not have the snake armor. That was kind of a thing they did. I thought it was pretty cool. They threw that back at it. They did release her later on with Zor, which she doesn't have the snake stuff, so that's pretty cool. She has her tip. I think she has a shield, and I apologize. The shield is not there in her hands. I just noticed that we don't have the shield, but that's okay. She comes with a little brown shield. The armor is removable, and you can take off the top piece and make it regular standard Teela, see, with the head sculpt. A lot of people are buying the new Filmation head sculpt and putting it on it, and it actually looks pretty good too. So, but yeah, that's the new Teela from Origins in 2020. And then we're going to cut right to her nemesis, Evelyn. I'm sorry, Evelyn. I thought your name was Evelyn. And so standard yellow body is weird. I never understood why they made her yellow.
It's
but
jaundice.
She's got jaundice. She drinks a lot on Eternia.
Yeah.
And it's a great figure. And once again, she also has the bad knees. These are the first releases where the knees were not perfect, and so they've released figures better now with better knees. I don't have a problem with them really because I just stand them up. But Evil Lynn is her standard figure. She comes with just her little Havoc staff, her little sorcery wand, or whatever you want to call it. She's a good figure. I just wish she would have had a cape. I think cape would have looked really good with her. But she's a solid figure, and they did 6 figures on the first wave was pretty good. So then we're gonna cut right to AAA himself. His favorite character, Man at Arms. I'll tell you a little story on this one. I was really amazed they actually released this figure with the mustache. A lot of people were happy about that, like myself. I was like, we got a mustache Duncan. We got a mustache Duncan. So they did release a regular standard version of him with the Palace Guard that came out a few years later. But the first wave actually has the mustache look, which I thought was a good touch. And once again, he has
just a little bit of the hair design too, coming out of the helmet.
All these figures are really, real reminiscent of the originals. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with them. Every all the armor comes off, the leg, the arm, the mace. And it's a great throwback. I mean, these figures are just top notch. And like I said, that's AAA's favorite character, so that's why he's got the name AAA. Andrew at Arms. So if you guys didn't know what AAA meant, now you guys know. So, but in his little thug bad guy he likes to fight is Beastman, Skeletor's henchman. Really good figure. I mean, it looks just like the original. I mean, they did such a good job. A lot of whip action going on that.
The beasts are under my control.
Yes, you can control all the beasts on Eternia. And so yeah, he was a good thing. Once again, he comes with his normal whip, his shoulder pads, his armor. You can change him out with just like He-Man, everybody, and they can move arms and stuff like that. Great sculpt, great paint, looks good. He was actually, when I found the first wave, he was the one I had the hardest time getting. I don't know why, Beastman, I didn't see him at first, but I found him a few weeks later after they came out. And also that year, they released the Mighty Battle Cat, which is He-Man's #1 friend, Cringer. And so this was the first animal they released in Series 1, which is a great figure because everybody knows the original Battle Cat did not move. And the only other one we ever had that was really, really posable besides 2000X was the Classics version, which is really awesome. His arms move, his mouth moves, the armor comes off, tail moves. I mean, he is a solid figure. I mean, all the way. Look, his helmet comes off. He's Cringer now. Oh, Adam, I don't want to fight nobody. That's a horrible Cringer, by the way. But but that's wave 1 of that. And the only other item that came out that year, at the end of the year, was the Battle Ram's air chariot that goes on the front of the Battle Ram, which is weird that we have not got the rest of the Battle Ram yet. It's been since 2020. So we got the front half of the vehicle, which came with different side panels and a different snake head for it, which I don't know why they're not out here, but that's all right. And it does come with a blast effect and a base that you can put it up in the air. And he came with the exclusive Prince Adam, which I'm a fan of this figure. I love the figure. I think it's a great, and that was the first time we got the solid sword. So they made all the swords after that all solid. Prince Adam was a good choice to put with the Battle Ram because we see that in the episode a lot.
I don't know what's right there.
It's just kind of, is there something in there?
No.
It's weird. But yeah, there's a variation on him actually. There's a bright red and a pink on his
vest.
Wow.
So,
but yeah, that was the very first wave in 2020, at the fall of 2020. So, and wave 2 came out at Walmart that following February, which we'll show on part 2 of Masters of the Universe Origins by Mattel. As we've been doing a new thing about the different things, criterias of it, and I'll let AAA start it, and we'll talk about the figures.
Sculpt. Top notch. So I got into the Savage World stuff that Mattel was doing just because I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like, Batman and Green Lantern.
Super 7.
Oh, that was Super 7.
Yeah.
And I hated the hips. So I already came into this line being like skeptical. And
Thanks to me.
when I got into this line, the hips worked, the amount of articulation that you get on each character, having the ability to move the ankles, move the knees, swivel the calves, move the hips, move the waist, move the hands, elbows, shoulders,
Just a minute, Triple A.
heads. It
I
is-
created a monster with you.
Oh, it is phenomenal. And there's no limitation to play. So it's like across the whole line, especially even Wave 1, 10 out of 10 on Sculpt. Like, this is the toy that we wanted, the toy that we deserved,
wish I
and the
had
toy
these.
that I'm glad that we got.
Yeah, I give it a 10 on that too because I love the line. I mean, there's no in this wave. There's no weak figures. You know, it was just a really good line.
And then when it comes to articulation, as we said with the Sculpt, it's just next level. So Sculpt, articulation, 10 out of 10. Consistency is usually the area that I notice problems. Origins, it's not an issue.
No, it's not. They do a good job, and there is a few sculpt problems with this wave.
Right.
The knees on the girl figures were a little weird. They did fix them in wave three.
Yep.
Wave 3. So and there's rumors out there of Evil Lynn and Evil Tila that has changeable knees. I have not seen them. If there is out there, please comment. I would love to see those figures. I know the Sorcerers had it in Castle Grayskull. If you could find a Castle Grayskull and be able to get both those Sorceresses, you're amazed. I actually have both of them. Because I had bought a pallet of Grayskulls, and I opened up a lot of them just to see if I got, and I did get both the Sorceresses and both She-Ras. So I know the 2000X version of Evil Lynn does have the correct knees.
Yeah, because those I have both, and that's the one. But really, it's like we look at it, it's not really that bad.
No.
When it comes down to it, it is look more so than functionality.
Yeah, I mean they're okay. The new knees look better, but they were a good wave. It was,
Yeah.
it was good.
And really, it's like the new knees have just a little bit of the nodes where you can like see the more of the definition of the patella versus it just being like a half circle. And biggest thing is they don't break. So
And these are durable figures, man. I mean, they're just like Turtles of Grayskull and all of them. You can drop them. I mean, I think I've had a couple figures where the arm broke, like on the top, because maybe it was like glued or something, or like went out of the factory. It just didn't have the movable. I think it was He-Man, because I had bought several He-Man. I mean, I had like 20 He-Man at one time just to have them, and I was playing with all of them, and one of the arms did break on that. So, but as far as that, I'm 10 on that too. So. Yeah.
And so it's like when we think about the coolness of the line, the way that it mixes the looks of the originals with the new standard of posability and playability that we expect nowadays, 10 out of 10.
And I think Mattel did a great job of not changing it. They actually took the vintage line and made it in today's world work. I mean, a lot of these companies, they make all this new stuff and they want to change it because they want to get their vision of it. Mattel came right out of the park and just said, hey, you know what? We're making vintage He-Man the way vintage He-Man needs to be. Kids will like it. And you know what? They are. They did a good job. And I wish there was more cartoons out there for the kids to get into them. I know this line was dedicated to adults, but I have seen a few kids buy them. Now with Filmation stuff, and they're showing it on Netflix and stuff like that, so a lot of kids will start buying the Filmation way, which we'll eventually get to it in one of the parts. But.
And this is one of the areas where this is personal preference. When they released the new Masters of the Universe that Netflix had, they should have done the toys like this.
Yes.
Because I have kids in the target age group. They love playing with these figures. They play with the Masters of the Universe one that came out with Netflix. They play with these more because they can interchange all the heads, all the arms. The limit of their play is not the same as it was with those.
You can have so much imagination with these Masterverse. You can.
Yeah.
It's just you can take their heads off and put them on the origin figures. But Masterverse, I think, was more for the adult collector, and these are supposed to be for the kids. is, but it's the opposite way around. I think.
Yeah.
Like kids like the sculpts of Masterverse, but they like the figures of the Origins. And I'm gonna be a total Origins guy over Masterverse. I do like the Masterverse. I don't care for the Revelation or Revolution figures. I did get them, but I'm more a fan of the new Eternia stuff and the new versions of them. That's what we're talking about. How Mattel did new versions of these characters. Like just for example, I'm gonna throw this in here real quick. This is the new Eternia Trapjaw. This is a solid figure for me. I mean, you know me and Trapjaw fan. So they did a great job of giving you the vintage look, but also giving you the little bit of ability of like a Marvel Legend posability, like Master Universe Classics.
Holsters.
So great plastic. They don't break. They're very posable figures.
No tacky skirts.
Yeah, it's great, and I just had him right here with me, but I just want to show you what Masterverse looks like. You know, there's your standard new, what the world wants and classifies, like Classified, Black Series, stuff like that. But so as far as that, this was the first wave of Masters of the Universe Origins from Mattel. The first wave was available at Walmart only. Walmart had a deal with them where they could just get the figures out first. They were released later on at Target, but Walmart had first dibs. That's why Series 2 was only a Walmart exclusive, and then Target got Wave 3. So yes, definitely, we really appreciate you guys watching it, and get ready for Part 2 coming soon, and we'll show you everything that come out in 2021. So 2021 was a good year because we had like 4 waves.
Yeah.
So we had Castle Grayskull in 4 waves. So that's going to be a fun video. So, and I'm glad AAA was here to show the figures with me and talk about them. And like I said, I really appreciate it. It's my favorite toy line. And we appreciate everybody watching the show, and have fun, and check us out next time in Part 2 of this and whatever videos.
Tuesdays, Fridays are our release schedule for videos. If you have anything that you would like us to cover in subsequent videos, please leave it in the comments and we'll do our best to incorporate it.
And like and subscribe.
Hit that bell. We'll
Thanks,
see
guys.
ya.